have access to your network. So intro to IT. Let's keep it simple. This is referring to the use of computers, softwares, and other digital technology to store, process, and communicate information, right? Let's keep it simple as that. So we're just saying, how do we get all of these devices to communicate? Okay, as simple as that. Let's keep it simple. A little history of computing. We can all agree to summarize it. In the old days, we used to use huge, massive devices. Now, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? All of us, our life is on these small digital devices called phone. I went to a conference and somebody shut down, believe it or not, shut down a manufacturing plant on the phone, shut down their production. It's crazy. Of course, you all can agree now. You can be anywhere in the world. You can check your kids from your phone. You can check your garage. You can check your phone. It's crazy. So the world has changed. All of us are part of that IT already. So if you tell me you don't know IT, I smile and chuckle. Dude, lady, you do know IT. All of us are IT. There's no shortcut. If you travel out of your location, guess what happens? If you try to log onto your bank account, it will prompt you to put a one-time password because it has identified that you're out of your geolocation. So all of us are IT. So forget that, respectfully, stop saying that. All right. You're all IT. The only thing is that now I'll just call it out and say this is what it means. That's all. So nothing fancy. All right. So that's the big high-level history. Now, careers in IT, categories in IT, let's keep this simple. There's hardware, there's software, there is data and information naturally, and there's services. We all know what hardware is, the physical devices. Softwares are those applications we use for most of our functions in general. So let's keep it simple, okay? All right. Like I said, go back and go through this, but I just want to know, quickly run through it. We know what hardware is already. So the physical things that we use, whether it's your laptop, your desktop, your server, your phone, those are the hardwares. Let's keep it simple. Softwares, we all use software, whether you know it or not. If you're using your team, you're using Zoom, those are applications, they are softwares developed to do certain functionality. So let's keep it simple, all right? Nothing fancy there. All right, let's go to the basic thing. Now, remember one thing, everybody, in case you don't remember this, there's a common slogan now that they say data is the new oil. Because data is the new oil, that's why you see a company like Apple and Google. Right now, they are valuated more than most of the oil and gas companies. That is crazy. These guys, all they have is data. It's crazy. They only have data, but data is king. You and I, that's why when you speak on the phone and you talk about a restaurant, suddenly you start seeing ads on those restaurants. Or you speak about a topic, suddenly you start seeing things on those topics. This is crazy right now. So all of us, the world, and with AI, whew, all right, that's a different monster. Guys, ladies, you must. There's no option. All of us, we have to embrace it. The world has changed under our feet overnight. Trust me. Overnight, the world resets. We'll talk about that later, some other time. That's enough monster to even talk about. Let's leave that for a second. Okay. IT infrastructure or computer infrastructure is the foundation of everything in IT in general. So we're talking of the software, the hardware, the network, and all of that comprise of the infrastructure in general. So in your home, there's an IT infrastructure. The cable that comes to your home before it connects to your router and connects to your devices, that's the overall infrastructure of your home network. So all of us have network and infrastructure in your home. You may not call it that. I'm just calling it out that that's what it is, okay? All right, let's go to another one real quick. Data center, keep it simple. It's just a big physical place that people keep all these servers, all these telecommunication equipment, and they store them there. All right. They are massive. Some of them are as big as a big store. They are massive. Okay. That's what it is in simple terms. Okay. What is a cloud? Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I say cloud, don't look up and say, oh, cloud. All right. This is really, mostly it's their data centers that people are just renting to us in different locations all over the world. And we call it cloud. All right. And believe it or not, these are multi-billion-dollar businesses right now. It's insane. The common one you would all know, AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, they are all big ones. Take away from here, if I talk about cloud, just remember three different types of cloud. Let's keep it simple. Number one, public cloud, private cloud, hybrid. Public, as the name implies, it means, it's for everybody. So if it's for everybody, naturally it's cheaper. Private, it's exclusive to you, so mostly more expensive. hybrid, a combination of the public and private. So there are many use cases that will make you decide which of them you will decide to go with. Okay, let's keep it as simple as that. All right, let's go to the next one. We talked about IT infrastructure already, so I'll skip this one. Okay. What is network? Okay, let's keep it simple. Network is connectivity of your devices. Let's keep it as that. Now, there are different types of network. We're not going to go into all the details of the different types of network. Just remember there's one called LAN, local area network. As the name implies, it's just local. Then wide area network, meaning much more bigger coverage. Let's keep it at that for now. Then, of course, in your home, you have a network connectivity of your devices. Your devices sometimes are your printers, they're your phone, kids' laptop, your personal phone. All of those are the connectivity that we're talking about. All right. Now, for this also, I'll skip this, but for your personal read, you can go through it. For you to get into deep into networking, we have what we call OSI layer. It's just a way to say, okay, there are different layers of those networking. So when you log on to your system, HTTP dot whatever website, that's an application layer. It goes up onto the end of physical layer where the cabling that your service provider puts into your house. So it has layers. Now we don't see it physically, but this is just talking about each of those layers. Presentation layer gets into encryption, session layer, net BIOS, transport, TCP, which is just the um, communication between transport, right? Within the network itself, there's network layer for routers, your data link layer for your network card, then physical layer for your switches. Now, don't stress about this one, but just for personal knowledge, you can understand that, okay, there's something called OSI layer. There's certifications around this. We'll get into that later. All right. Okay. And this is just Bill Gates' definition. Information technology has become the nervous system that controls the flow of information that sustains and gives meaning to all organization. All right. That's the quote from Bill Gates. We can take some of his words. Programming, we can all agree, boy, sometimes I feel bad I used to be a programmer in my old world, right? Mostly JavaScript, AKMS stuff in the past, right? But now, even if you're a programmer, a lot of these AI tools now, they're writing those same programs. And honestly, sometimes they're better than us humans, actually, most times. So, anyway, if you're a programmer on this call, leverage AI to make you a better programmer because that world is changing even right in front of us. That is crazy too, right? Okay, these are some language: Python, JavaScript, Java, C++. So a lot of those languages are there. All right, what is AI? We all can agree there's artificial intelligence in everything. So, okay, ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Google Bard or Google Gemini now, as it's called, and there are so many large learning model for AI content. Go to Skillweed on YouTube. We teach AI every week just to kind of give people some insight in general. Okay. All right. Let's go to another one real quick. History of AI. I'll skip this part of it, but at least we get the gist. This is for people that want to know more. There's AGI, ASI, ANI. Right now, we are at the narrow part of AI, you know? So we've not even gotten to the part that would really, ASI is what the world is saying, when the androids will take over the world, robots will take over the world, blah, blah, blah. So many fancy stuff. We've not gotten there yet. So right now we're just at the early stage of it. We have not scratched the surface yet. That's why every week the changes are just crazy right now in AI. Okay, so let's leave that. IoT means Internet of Things. It means all our wearable devices. All of those things are what we call IoT in general, right? Your what do you call it? Fitbit, Jawbone, Samsung Watch, Apple Watch, all of those devices we connect now to do our businesses. Your earpod, your glasses, all of those are Internet of Things in general. Okay, and our fridge, so many of them out there right now. Okay, operation technology, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it simple. Anytime you see a manufacturing plant where you see robotics, where you see all these plants that are doing different things, those are mostly operational technology solutions. And we call them ICS, Industrial Control System. So just know those terms. Okay, if you hear operation technology, it's not your regular IT, but mostly around manufacturing and all these plants. Okay. All right. IT careers, we can all agree there's cybersecurity, GRC analyst, software developer, network architect, security, so many careers out there. Cybersecurity, this is talking about the threat in cyber, best practices in cyber. We all can agree we need to update our password and make sure we have good policies and procedures. Those are just general terms in terms of IT. Cybersecurity, these are three big ones I want us to type. Everybody on this call, if you don't mind, do me a favor, just type CIA. I'll make you all able to chat real quick. Type CIA. So when you're in a meeting and they talk cyber, I want us to sound smart. Just say, we need to think about the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If you say those three terms, people know that, okay, you have an idea of what are the core areas. Now, if you're writing exams, and by the way, Skillweed is also officially a CompTIA partner. So, from the next 2 weeks, you'll see us announcing we are, you can write certification within our program. Amazing news. So you'll see more of that next week. But now, it means if you are talking to someone, you can speak intelligent and say, okay, confidentiality, integrity, availability. So for exam purpose, those are things that will come up. All right. So, okay, let's go to another one. Don't worry, I'll be done with this. Again, I want to make sure everybody's on the same page before we move to the call for today. Some general overview of cybersecurity. Think about it. At the end of the day, we want to protect our network, protect every critical infrastructure within our environment. It's such a big deal because think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Gone are the days these malicious actors are targeting just few people. Everybody is fair game. They target everybody. So it's crazy right now. So we have to make the best out of it right now as a country, as a people. Common threats in general. What is risk? What is threats? What is vulnerability? So risk is really talking about uncertainties, right, and possible harm. Vulnerabilities talks about opportunity or threat to harm assets, and threats are potential vectors of attack on your assets, right? And a breach is simply a successful exploitation of your vulnerability by threat. As simple as that. So nobody likes the word breach. If there's a breach, it's a nightmare for every organization. Okay, so everybody's scared of that. Now let's get into why we are here. Why do we need to provide or do risk assessment? Ladies and gentlemen, think about it this way. Now we are jumping into it gradually. Every environment, from a business point of view, the core of everything before you get into anything is you have to think and say, what is the potential risk to your organization? Today, we are going to get into a real life situation. And what's the situation, ladies and gentlemen? A hospital system today was, I'm not sure whether we are aware of what's been going on recently. It's been a nightmare for hospitals in the US. And I'll show you guys a quick video. Then we'll come back and jump into the risk assessment. Let me show you a quick video. Then we jump into the core of today's class real quick. It's crazy right now because unlike in the past, hospitals were not targets, but now it's a different ball game entirely. Everybody is a target. Everybody is susceptible to this risk right now. And these malicious actors are out for anyone. They don't care whether it's hospital, whether it's children's, they don't care. If you're available, they would attack you right now. So it's crazy and embarrassing, really, even for big nations. So let's watch this for the next 2 minutes, then we jump into the class for today. And because of the guideline of Facebook, of YouTube, when we thank you everybody. All right, so let's talk about the risk assessment real quick again. Top on the list, what is risk assessment? I think let's quickly share the screen again and get back to, thank you all for calling that out, folks. Okay. All right. So the first thing we said, all right, risk assessment is critical in any organization. And it's not just it being critical, it's the fact that let's quickly, sorry, let me share that screen again. Okay, cyber risk assessment. Okay, let's go back here. All right, welcome back, everybody. So we're going to jump into cyber risk assessment again and just understand why is it important to have a risk assessment in any organization. It's important because one, it's the process of having a systematic approach to identify, one, analyze, and manage our risk within our organization. If there's no plan to manage those risks, it's not a function of when there is an attack. if there's an attack, it's when. It's going to happen to everybody. Every organization I've been to in the world, there was one I went to, one of the largest bottling company in the world. They've been having an IP coming from Southeast Asia for the last 4 or 5 years, and they were never aware of it in their critical manufacturing plant, and they were not aware of it. So it's a big deal, right? So sometimes you could take it for granted, but if you don't continuously do monitoring of your risk, then you are really going to be in trouble at some point. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, when we say trouble, implication is crazy. Think about it. This year, last year, Facebook was fined 1.3 billion pounds or euro for violation of a Privacy Act in Europe, GDPR. And guess what? Some weeks after, we started seeing them lay off people. Hmm, is there a correlation between we're fined, we need to figure out a way to make that money back, right? So it's serious stuff. Lives are really involved at the end of the day, too. The other thing is what is risk assessment in generally, it also involves reviewing the organizational policies, the network, and controls to make sure that to determine potential vulnerabilities within the organization and the likelihood and impact of those identified threats within your business. So it's a good exercise, and I've been into a lot of those risk assessment projects in the past that all of us today we can come up with a risk assessment and say, okay, we are bringing a new MRI machine and CT scan to this hospital. What are the potential threats that could be identified as a result of bringing it? What are the vulnerabilities that can be exploited? We can think about it. Now, that is really what we are thinking, and we're going to have two things to think about and say, what is the potential likelihood of this happening and the impact on the business? Let me give an example. What is the likelihood of somebody coming to theft of our MRI machine and CT scan? And what is the impact? The likelihood, let's be honest, I would say maybe low for you to come in and physically carry those big machines, remove it, and just come and take it from the hospital. And because it's a lot of effort to do that, right? But what about the impact? If you succeed, the impact is going to be probably high, on our patients. Lives might be lost. So the likelihood is low, but the impact is high, right? Let's say another one. What about the likelihood of somebody coming with a flash drive to put the flash drive in the machine and take away images of my or an x-rays of my patients and take it away and walk away and compromise data? Hmm, that likelihood is probably there. Maybe medium. What about the impact? The impact is high because I know that we can be fined. That is going to be an embarrassment on the business, right? So that's the way we're going to think about it. Okay. So let me ask us. Let me allow chat for 1 second. Let's brainstorm together. This is open now. Let me put this scenario. Then tell me what is the likelihood. Then what is the impact. So let me ask you, what is the likelihood of somebody hacking into the MRI machine? What do you guys think? What's the likelihood? Okay. Somebody said low, very likely. So, I said hacking. Somebody, okay, hacking into the MRI machine. Okay. Medium, very high. Okay. What about the impact? Okay, what about the impact? What do you guys think about the impact? So the likelihood is low or high. Okay. The impact is severe. I agree. So the impact is serious. So now, okay, even if we say, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the things you should prepare your mind for. All of us here as professionals, when you find yourself in this world, it's very interactive. Sometimes you have to understand the person's perspective and ask, why do you think so? What's your thought process here? There is nothing that is flat and dry that, oh, this is right, this is wrong. It's subjective at times. The way you're looking at it, I may have my information that you don't have. So those are the things that kind of twist it a little bit back and forth. Okay. So not a big deal. Okay. Got it. Okay. Good, good, good. I think we get the gist. Okay. I like that. Okay. Let's quickly jump on. All right. Let's quickly move on. Importance of risk assessment. Number one, we use it to think and identify the potential vulnerability, understand threat, quantify risk, prioritize the action. Then it strengthens our security posture because the beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen, is this. It forces all of us to think through risk. Let me give you a practical one, and you can do it in your home. Have you ever, any one of us, ever thought about going to your current home network and check all the visitors that have logged into your devices and possibly remove them from your network right now because it's still showing they have access to your network. So if they bring their device or somebody compromise and bring other devices, they don't need to come to your to your home and re-log in because they are already logged into your network. Have you done like a scan to say, well, this guy, lady has logged in a while back, let me remove the access? Because your service provider have the software you can actually go in and remove people, right? Maybe you don't know, just go check it out. But those are reality though. We may not think it that deep, but if somebody else picks their devices, they can come close to your home. If your signal is good enough, they can use that device to log into your network and start browsing and doing stuff, right? It's possible, right? And that's the reality of it. So a lot of us at times, risk assessment, everybody thinks, oh, well, yeah, no big deal, until it becomes a big nightmare and an embarrassment for big organization. It's a big deal for any organization. What is risk? Risk in general time refer to possibility of loss or damage, right? And ladies and gentlemen, we can agree some of the risk factors. Think about let's not play games. At the end of the day, why do you think people care about risk in corporation? I mean, we can make it sound sweet or lovely, you know, think about your board and shareholders. At the end of the day, it's financial they think about the most. We can make it smart. Oh, operational risk, impact on business, reputational damage, blah, 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 big talk. But what does, in good faith, what does the shareholder and the board really care about? What is the pressure they put on CEO to deliver every time? It's numbers and data and financials. So if you tell me audit risk and all this big talk, I get it. But do you think the shareholders and the board really care about all those big talk? If it's optional, a lot of people will not even comply with regulation. It's just because it's not optional, so they don't have a choice. I've seen an environment that they would tell some environment will go private because they don't want to be in compliance with regulation. Yeah, some environment actually do that. The business decision say, okay, well, it's too much stress. We don't need it. I just want to be private. A lot of companies are private that can be public, but by choice they chose to be private. It's crazy, but that's the reality. Okay, so risk assessment is important. Let's keep it simple. What is threat? Threats is really taking is anything that can exploit a vulnerability. So if anything can exploit a vulnerability, that's a threat at any point in time. Sometimes the threat can be insider risk. Insider risk is somebody that really works within your organization and they have malicious intent to really exploit the system or exfiltrate data, take data out. So that's a big deal too. What is vulnerability? It's the weakness that can be exploited by a threat, right? So it's important we always do. Some of you must have heard of vulnerability management or vulnerability scan. It's just to scan for potential weakness. So your antivirus, for example, we can all agree it's a vulnerability scan. You're checking if there is a potential weakness in your laptop or your kid's laptop or your phone. Those are the things we typically do, right? So we can all agree on that one too for a start. All right. Cyber risk assessment. What are the steps? Let's keep it simple. Number one, we identify the risk. We analyze the risk, we prioritize the risk, and we mitigate the risk. For those of us doing our programming March 2nd, we get into the details of this in real time. We give feedback on them, but this is equally solid. But these are the steps. One, we identify the risk. What's the risk we have here? We analyze it. What is the impact? And what is the likelihood of this happening to us? Then we prioritize the risk because think about it, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget this. You can have 100 risk, but ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Am I going to fix 100 risk? What do you think I should do? Let me think. Let's okay. Can we chat real quick? Let's see. What do you guys think? I have 100 risk. How do I deal with it? Let's see. What do you guys think? I have 100 risk I've identified. What do you think I should do? I love that. And then you're awesome. Yeah, that's it. Prioritize them because think about it. No matter how rich a company or a country or anybody is really, none of us have unlimited resources. Let's face it. That's why you can see foundations, Melinda Gates Foundation still asking somebody for money because nobody has unlimited resources, right? So the reality is that in the midst of all this risk, we have to prioritize it, classify it. Tell me, what do you guys think we should classify it under? Give me the category we should classify. Allow it. Who is that? Lola, you are awesome. You are awesome. Who is that? Lola Patumbi, you are awesome. You are awesome. Critical, high, medium, low. Yes, we should definitely find a ranking system. Every organization is different. Critical, naturally, we know, okay, critical. It's going to break everything. Fix it first. Easy. High. So if you have to rank, naturally, we all go critical, high, medium, low, straight up. Don't waste your time. That's easy. It has defined itself for us. So we just do that real quick, okay? All right, cool, 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 cool. All right, let's move on. We try to keep the time here so we don't play games with time. All right, so another thing is there, we have the approach. Okay, let's go back. Oof, come on. All right, this is a very good process in general, and you can take a look at this. It's just the way we kind of identify to kind of make it easy for you to see it and say, okay, what are the steps? Number one, you identify the risk, the assets, analyze the threat, assess vulnerability, evaluate the risk, recommend controls, monitor and review. This is a solid one. If you have an interview today, this is what I want you to use to talk about risk assessment. Everybody on this call, okay? So we normally meet on on Wednesday also. It's going to be YouTube Live for the Wednesday session. And everybody, make sure you like our YouTube page. Very important, so you can see what's going on. There are a lot, blah, blah, blah. A lot of resources there. So don't just make sure you like it and follow us. So you can see here, this is just the steps in general. In an interview, you have to have this. I'm going to take this screenshot, put it in the our WhatsApp group so you guys have access to this also. Very, very important. All right. But I'll skip this. And what are we looking for in general? Network security. We're talking about security of our network, endpoint. Anytime we hear the word endpoint, everybody, can we type this? Anytime you hear the word endpoint, think of your laptop, your desktop, your mobile phone. Can we type it real quick, everybody, please? Endpoint, just say, yeah, just say endpoint equals to your phone, your laptop, your everything. It's really, so when you get, this is where they put agents that will be monitoring some of our devices in general. So your computers, your servers, they kind of make sure they can monitor all the devices connecting to the network. Access control for all of us, please, everybody. We're just saying it's fair to say before you grant access to anyone in my system, do they even have password, user ID? Do they have multi-factor authentication? Those are things that we all can agree. Then are we giving them access based on the roles they have? Are we doing what we call principle of least privilege? I'm just saying, if you don't need access, don't give me access. That's all it is, really. You know, don't give me access. If you don't have a need for an access, don't give me access. As simple as that, okay? Um, Application security, all of us use applications. So there are tools that are designed to be scanning and making sure vulnerability in those applications are identified. Data security, everybody, like I said, data is like the new king of everything we do. So it's important. The security around data is key. It gets even worse when you are in national security, defense, critical infrastructure. We're talking about sensitive data, right? So the classification of the data is so key. That's why if you're on this call, never play smart. Don't think when you take a data out of your organization, they will not know. They would know. Ladies and gentlemen, they will know because they have tools called data loss prevention tool. Can we all type DLP real quick, everybody? Can we all type DLP real quick, everybody? DLP. So don't think you're smart. None of us is smarter than the system. They'll figure it out so quick. I see a lot of people travel and they tell me, "Oh man, would my company know that I'm out of town?" Blah blah blah. Listen, man, if you are going out of town, let your leaders know. They would know. We have ways of tracking it. We have geolocation tools that will track wherever you are. You might even use your, proxy server. There are tools that it will have to route through your IP provider, and we can track it and know that you are out of the country. You can claim and say, "Well, somebody stole my laptop, stole my blah blah blah." They will know. All right. So just give me a heads up. So you won't come here and say, "Sir, coach, I'm in this situation." And I've seen this happen a couple of times. That's why I'm saying it. So make sure don't play that game. People will figure it out so quick. All right, cool. Okay, so okay, all right. Let me stop sharing this and reshare again. All right, we're almost done with that. Then we'll jump into the meat of it. The meat of it is always all right. Let's quickly, you know what? Okay, I'll just talk about this real quick and we'll be done. Then we jump into the lab, the working session. The working session we just do like 10 minutes and we'll be out of here. Okay. All right. So let's quickly finalize. The other thing is mitigation. Now, when you identify risk, which we'll identify in a bit, we have to come up with a plan to fix it. Can we all type that word mitigation plan real quick? Mitigation simply means, okay, ladies and gentlemen, don't come and tell me there's a problem. Anybody can tell. In fact, let me tell you the funny thing. 90% of organizations know they have a problem. You and I have no value telling me I have a problem. As a matter of fact, I know I have a problem. I'm a problem myself, right? Okay, I get it. The value you and I bring is coming up with recommendation on the fix to the problem. We are solution providers. We need to. So, for example, you tell me, all right, your password setting is weak. Okay, what should I do? And honestly, genuinely, these ladies, guys, people, they want you to give them, they trust you to give them recommendations. Now, you're not implementing it, you're just saying, okay, set up a good access control process, make sure you have complex password, enable multi-factor authentication, enable role-based access. You're just giving them basic recommendation. And ladies and gentlemen, guess who our new friend is? Google used to be our friend. Who is our new friend? Let's see whether we are on the same page. Google was our friend some months ago. Who is our new friend? AI. I love you, Maurice. You're awesome. Thank you, everybody. ChatGPT, AI, all of them. Whether it's autopilot, we use it, and we have a program designed for prompting. We should be proud of it. I'll find the time. We just do that. It's amazing what we can prompt. It will make your life easy. So we'll get into that some other time. Okay. All right. So all right, let's go. We're almost done here. All right. So yeah, let's keep it simple. Best practices, always conduct risk assessment. Listen, man, if you're in an environment and you ask them, was a risk assessment conducted? People see you with some different eyes that you are thinking strategy. Because think about it. Even the video we watched of Adolf Hitler, the key was, hey, did you guys not envisage the risk? Who envisaged risk? Leaders. That's your role. That's why you're a leader. That's it, really. They are the ones that think through the risk. A lot of people are tool people. They will tell me, oh, I want to learn this tool. Oh, cloud, AWS. Okay, good, 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 great. But guess what? We are not tool people because tool changes every day. Automation changes every day. The key strategy and processes would always remain, and they drive and decide the people to hire, the process to build, the tools to bring, and the overall governance to bring also. All right, cool. So, all right, screen is blocked. All right, I'll stop and okay, let's quickly go one more time. All right, the last thing we're gonna do is I'll just share with us. I'll make sure all of us can quickly do this real quick. This is the last part before we call it a day. All right, and this is an easy one, so don't overthink it. All right, let me quickly share my screen. And if you guys have access to you to the WhatsApp group, you'll notice that we have this. All right, this is the document I shared, risk assessment. Please, everybody, read it up later. All right, but let's talk about what we need here. This is the hospital we talked about, right? We've seen the story about this hospital. Risk assessment is a big deal, right? So, very big deal. This is the executive summary. They've identified certain threat and risk. Okay. They have threat risk, unauthorized access. That's a big one for them. Data breach risk, system downtime risk, data loss risk, compliance violation, insider threat. And we've kind of identified the impact, the likelihood, and the overall risk level here. Okay, that's already identified for us. So we are good here. But this is where I want us to work together right now. I want us to, you know, say to each other, you guys help me here, number 5. I want us to work as a team on this one together, and I'll make us all have access to chat. I need you guys to help me here, okay? What is the risk, the potential impact of compliance violation for these people, for this hospital system? So tell me what you think, and I'll add it here. Number 5. Help me with number 5. I need your guidance here. Okay. The potential impact on the business is high. Okay. I think I can live with that. That is high. Okay. I would agree with you all. We can go with high on this one. What about the likelihood? What's the likelihood of they having a compliance violation? All right. Let me see what you guys think. The likelihood. Okay. You know, we're always conservative. So maybe we can, maybe medium, the likelihood, so that I'll put them on their toes. Maybe we can say medium. What about the risk level overall? What do you think at the end of the day? If there is a, okay, I would agree with I actually on this one too. Now remember again, because I said it does not mean that's going to be what you would do. Sometimes you have more information to tell me that, hey, you know what, I don't agree because of this reason, and that's okay. So what I want us to do is I want us to do 6 and 7 as a team. Okay. 6 and 7, I've done number 5, but you get the gist. But honestly, this is risk assessment. What you're doing is you're looking at the potential impact and the likelihood of occurrence. We've identified the risk and the threat. So we're just going to put this. All I need you to do is to do 6 and 7. All right. We've done 5 together. Don't do 5. I want us to do 6. And everybody, I'll put us in a group right now. We will be able to share within our group and pick up everybody, each group would have 15 people in each of the groups, and just Please, what will happen is once I put us in a group, don't leave. Well, if you leave, other people will join anyway. So just be there. And this is the value. You can talk and collaborate with others and at least have a feel of it. It's very simple. Six and seven, just tell me what you guys think. And we just put it there real quick. We'll do it for 10 minutes, okay? So you hear it quiet, don't leave. It's just putting us in a group. That's all. And we'll do that for the next 10 minutes and I'll bring us back and we'll wrap it up, okay? All right, let's do that for the next, let's see how many of us. We'll do, all right, let's do that for the next. All right. All right, let's see if we can do that for the next few minutes. Please immediately just be a leader. Don't be quiet. Don't just chill. Just take ownership, have fun too. Take ownership. You see a few of us, they just talk in the group. All right, see you all in a bit. We'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you, all. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. And folks, I jumped into a lot of views session. Amazing insight, folks. And don't worry, you're not crazy. You're not abnormal. It's normal, really. It's part of what we do. You see us debating. Some of us will, sometimes I get it, right? Don't feel bad that, oh, you're not abnormal. It's normal. That's the way it is, really. In any environment, you challenge the thinking. As a matter of fact, sometimes when I do assessment, you would have your team members, even some of them that are junior, they would have to, I would demand criticality so that you can butcher yourself before outsiders butcher you, right? So you brainstorm, you go through it, and so that's really what it is, really. We like to stick with time here. Two things I quickly sent out. We have a link for resources. Make sure you go there, download a lot of our resources there. They are free, take advantage of it. Second thing is the YouTube link. Make sure you join it. I'll upload our video once we clean it up to the YouTube page also. Just like and follow it. You'll see us. There's so much ton of stuff we do to our community to help you maximize your potential. A lot of you also buzzed me and said the March second class coming up. Yeah, the program we have here is a tip of the iceberg to what we typically do within the program itself, because we have working group, we have working session. It's a lot more detail. What you have can still help you if you know what you're doing to navigate towards getting a job, but the other program is designed specifically for hands-on projects towards getting a job. That's the difference, really. But as always, let's keep adding value to each other, keep learning. On Wednesday, we use YouTube Live. Remember, we'll never call you for a key or a code. Beware of scammers. I will never call. None of my team would ever call you guys. Always remember that, okay? If you all agree on that, give me thumbs up. We'll never call you for code or anything. I hate to see my team scammed, okay? Please don't fall for stuff like that. There are low life folks around. Just don't fall for stuff like that, okay? We are cyber folks, so don't fall for those kind of folks. Wednesday is 7 p.m. It's YouTube Live. It's always a lot of fun. I'll try and bring somebody to be like a guest speaker. We'll talk about risk assessment. We'll just make it as interactive as possible. But the core of the work is this. Now, for the Wednesday, my focus is on interview. Okay, what about if they ask us on this for interview? How do we handle it? So that some of us can, excuse me, leverage that for potential interview opportunities. Let's just keep adding value for ourselves. Hopefully, I made 90 minutes of your time worthwhile. And always remember, impossible is nothing. We got this. Thank you for being part of our community. Next week, we'll try and increase the capacity. We had a lot of people trying to join. So try and join early. I'll push it to extra capacity, but we exceeded 500 today. But thank you all. God bless. More to come. See you all soon. If you are not in the WhatsApp group, you know what? Let me send you the group on this chat real quick. If I can, you can join. It's important you're part of that group because we share most of our stuff there. And one more thing, for those of us, if you want to share your comments in terms of what you did in your group, feel free to just paste it in this chat right now. Let me see if I can add this group to this chat real quick. Okay, I just